on the go or at home on your Roku or any device. Go to Quello.com right now. That's Quello. And get the gift that keeps on rocking. Join the Marion Family YMCA now until January 9th, and you could save up to $60. If you've always thought about joining the Y but just never got around to it, now is the time to join and save. The YMCA is much more than a place to work out. It's a place to try new programs, meet new friends, become involved in your community, and find a way to stay healthy in spirit, mind, and body. Learn more at MarionYMCA.org or call 725-9622. Join the Y today and see all the new things the Y has to offer.
If you or someone you know is addicted to drugs or alcohol, please store this number or call right now. 1-800-485-2190. That's 1-800-485-2190. By calling the Addiction Rehab Specialist, you're taking the first steps to recovery. Their advisors are ready to match you with a proven 5-star treatment center that will help you end your drug or alcohol addiction once and for all. Don't waste any more time with drugs or alcohol. Your future is still a bright place. Let the Addiction Rehab Specialist help you break your addiction to drugs and alcohol before it's too late. This call is completely confidential, and if you have private insurance, there'll be little to no cost to you. Even if you've already been to treatment, give us a call. There's no need to let drugs and alcohol ruin your life. Take the first step now. Call the Addiction Rehab Specialist at 1-800-485-2190. That's 1-800-485-2190. 1-800-485-2190.
When I think of America, I think of the words innovative, strong, smart. You know what word I don't think of? Hunger. And that's a problem, because 1 in 6 Americans will face hunger this year. The problem is invisible, but we have the power to change that. Empty stomachs require loud mouths. So let's get loud. Go to greatnationseat.org and add your name to the growing list of Americans who demand that we do better. America can't be great on an empty stomach. So let's unite and fight. Visit greatnationseat.org.
Does holiday shopping in stores increase your risk of identity theft? Yes. Shopping puts personal information out there, and big retailers have been breached. Does shopping online increase risk? Yes. Online shopping leaves a trail of personal information behind. Does giving fruitcake as a gift increase risk? No. It's not very original, and the fruitcake may never get eaten, but it won't increase risk. Holiday shopping and using Wi-Fi over an eggnog latte at the coffee shop will. That's why LifeLock does more than free credit monitoring services to protect you from identity theft. We have proprietary technology to detect a range of threats. And if you have an identity problem, we have a U.S.-based team of specialists who work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor transactions at every business. But with LifeLock, you can shop till you drop and feel better protected, even if you do buy the fruitcake again. Right now, enjoy 10% off your membership as our gift to you. Go to LifeLock.com and enter promo code NEWS.
This report is brought to you by SoundHound. Song stuck in your head? Sing or hum into the SoundHound app and get the results you're looking for. SoundHound is the only music search app that lets you use your voice to discover music. Hear a song you love? Open SoundHound and tap the orange button to find out more or buy the song. Download SoundHound for free from your app store now.
Here's your Marion area forecast, coming to you safe and sound from the Marion Community Credit Union Weather Center on News Radio 1490 WMRN.
Rain showers with windy conditions today. A thunderstorm is possible. We'll see a high of 64. Windy with showers and thunderstorms likely tonight. A few storms may be severe. We'll see a low of 51. Sunshine and clouds mix for your Thursday with a high of 54. For Christmas Eve, we'll see a few clouds from time to time. We'll have a low of 41.
It was 55 when I came in this morning. It's still 55 degrees. Sports brought to you by Dr. James Gilsdorf, your Invisalign expert in Marion. A couple of college bowl games yesterday. Akron beat Utah State 23-21 out in Boise, Idaho. Toledo beat Temple 32-17 down in Boca Raton, Florida. Boy, when I think college bowl games, I think of going to Boise, Idaho for Christmas. Tonight, a couple of more games. San Diego has Boise State and Northern Illinois. Bowling Green plays Georgia Southern down in Mobile, Alabama. College basketball last night, number 1 Michigan State beat Oakland University 99-93 in overtime. And the Buckeyes, they win last night. Jaquan Lyle at 18 as Ohio State wins their 3rd in a row. They beat Mercer by a score of 64-44. Next up for the Buckeyes, Sunday, they will host South Carolina State. Talking with Charlie and just kind of left our listeners with a little tease there because obviously one of your highlights was Lady Justice.
Yes, it was. I wanted to mention something, too. Over all these years, my wife, Jeannie, has had to put up with me. I was involved in so much. And the one year when I acquired the donkey and we eventually had to buy a home in the country because of this donkey. Did you hear?
I don't know that story.
Oh, really? Oh, that's a whole different...
So
one day...
You haven't always lived where you live now, then?
No.
Okay.
John Steele came in to relieve me at 7 o'clock one morning.
I am living in John's house.
Oh, okay. And John said, Everest, what on earth are you doing out in the parking lot? I said, I'm not doing anything. My truck's out there. He said, no, there's a donkey tied to your truck, and there's hay, bales of hay, a sombrero, and a Mexican blanket. I thought, no. And he said, well, take a look. And sure enough, there was a donkey tied to my truck. And I thought, now what do I do? And I was living in town, of course. I called the police department. I said, am I allowed to have a donkey in Marion? And they said, as long as it doesn't bray. Well, anyhow, that was followed by another donkey. Well, the radio station had pictures taken of me with my donkey. In fact, many homes in Marion still have that picture, Jeff. And the folks a lot of them have passed away, and their children send me that picture and say, we found this in Mother's cupboard, and I thought we'd give it back to you.
Where did the donkey come from?
Well, it took me 6 months to find out. It came from Jim Lemke, who had Lemke Implement Company out here. He got the donkey from a farmer, well, a horse raiser, who had Homestead Inn up in Milan, Ohio. And he was the head of the Arabian Horse Association in Ohio. And Jim was a good friend of his, and he always saw this donkey. The donkey was a mascot for all these horses. And Jim convinced him that there was a guy that needed a donkey so bad that would he give his mascot, and so he did. And I didn't know that. Several people knew, though some of the Lemkes, of course, knew where it came from, but it took me a long time. Well, after the radio station here sent out 600 of those pictures from people that asked for them, it showed me with my the back end of my truck and with my donkey. And my mother-in-law had the picture on her buffet, and she was having a serious repairman in her house. And he looked at that and he said, oh boy, that's a coincidence. I've got a donkey too, but I've got to give mine away. We're moving. And she said, well, I know who will take it. And so that was donkey number 2.
What were the names of the donkeys?
Homestead Clyde was the first one, and the second one was Eeyore, and then the third one was Luther, and the fourth one was Nancy. Oh, it was I could take forever to tell. But after I thought, now what do we do? I was keeping the donkeys at my sister-in-law's place north of Prospect, and what are we going to do? Well, we were going to the Gourd Show or something, and we went through Clarendon and saw a for sale sign on this house. And so, in the back of the house, there was a well cover, and there was a half of a horseshoe laying there. But anyhow, we got to looking around and said, hey, this wouldn't be bad house. It will making them an offer. But later, I think it was that day or sometime, we were at this festival, and I found another half of a horseshoe along the road, and they matched. Weird. But anyhow, we bought the house. And so after we bought the house, we had the donkeys, and then people started giving us animals. And eventually I had 50 chickens. I had, I don't know how many geese. I had guineas, ducks, and turkeys.
I had not heard that story before.
My! Oh, this is a whole era.
Huh.
And we had to buy this house in the country, and the area farmers pitched in and put up a fence for me, put in water to the barn. I had a barn built, and that was a whole era. And it lasted until all the donkeys eventually died of old age or sickness, and that was something.
Oh, I did not.
Oh, yeah.
I was not aware of that.
Oh, you'll run across one of those pictures one of these days.
All right. Well, let's talk, because we don't have a lot of time left, but let's talk about Lady Justice.
Yeah, well, this lady called me, Mrs. Neff, Maxine Neff, and she said, the statue's missing from the courthouse, been gone for a long time. In fact, it came up missing, I think, in 1951. And she said, I've got some money. I'll give you $300 to restore the statue if you can find it. Well, after I was off the air, 10 minutes later, a lady called and said, I'll tell you who's got the statue. Open up the Marion County Historical Society's history book and go to page so-and-so, and there you'll find a picture of the officers of the Historical Society. Count over 5 faces, and there's your thief.
So she wouldn't give you the name, but she
told you
who it was.
Well, it was Dick Carey. And, of course, Dick he's even lectured on this since that time, and he's wrote the whole story. But, and then, after I got the statue back, we had to protect him. Immediately, the Bar Association or the Sheriff's Department was going to put together a posse and go out and get the statue, and him, all this. It was crazy. But anyhow, we got the statue back and had to have it, extensive work done on it. First of all, we had it sandblasted, and when we had it sandblasted, it showed all the holes in the statue that were put there by sheriff's deputies shooting pigeons off of it when it was on the courthouse. Oh, my land. And half of the head was missing, and a hand was missing, and I thought, now, how do we do all this? Well, Mike Griffith came here that day that they unveiled the statue and said, hey, Evers, you need some help on that? And I said, yes. So he took the statue to his house out in Tully Township. And in the basement, he had her restored. I helped at times to help fiberglass her and so forth. But then I thought, how are we going to get it on top of the courthouse again, where it originally was? And Dane Ringert in Waldo said, Evers, you need some help on that? And I said, yes. He was a steeplejack. He worked on all the high buildings in Columbus. And so thank goodness for him. The statue, after it was completed, was brought back to the courthouse, and a whole big crowd assembled, and a helicopter that was hired by the county commissioners came and picked the statue up.
What year was this?
November 15th, 1980 is when we put her back up. And the helicopter picked her up, and I was on top of the courthouse along with Dane, and I had no safety belt there either, working. I had one on, but it wasn't. It's a good thing I didn't trust it. It wasn't attached right, and I would have fallen off. So anyhow, it's a whole...
And it caught fire.
Oh, yeah. We were welding up there. We said we had to climb up to the top of the courthouse 3 times. The first time to see what we needed. Second time to install the platform for the statue to rest on. And we had to weld. And in welding, it caught some of the birds' nests on fire that was under the dome. Oh, they're great. And there it is. Smoke is rising from the courthouse, and we're up there, and my wife and Dane's wife was standing down below and worried, and I yelled down to them. I said, send up some hot dogs. And I thought that would, kind of make light of the whole thing.
But you were worried.
Yeah, we were really, because we were held on with ropes, and the rope could burn. But eventually all the fire extinguishers in the courthouse are gathered, and we finally got the fire out, but trying to put out a fire like that with a regular fire extinguisher is hard. A CO2 type. But we got the fire out, and I thought, man, what if somebody calls the fire department? And there we are up all. But we got through. But when